Hello, my name is Erica Harris. I'm Chief Purpose Coach for Purposeful Seed. We're just going to wait a few minutes for people to join us and welcome to Purposeful You in 2022, a monthly virtual workshop series just for you. So just give us a few minutes and we'll go on and we'll start to begin in about 2 minutes. All right, that was called Faith's Hymn. It's a piece by Beautiful Chorus. If you're looking for some soft meditative music to be quiet to, Hymns of Spirit is a good way to start. And that one was called Faith's Hymn. I love it. It is calming. The voices are beautiful. And I am happy to send you a link so that you can maybe enjoy that at a different time. But thank you for being here. Again, my name is Erica Harris, and you are here to join us for Purposeful You in 2022. Again, it is a monthly virtual workshop series class that I am offering every month this year in 2022. You're going to hear more about it soon, but on the fourth Thursday of every month at 6:30 Central Standard Time, 7:30 Eastern, we will be here, and we hope that you'll be able to join us. If you're not here to join us, then we hope you'll be able to listen to the recording. So thank you for being here, whether you're listening live or whether you're joining us via recording. Again, my name is Erica Harris. Who am I? Well, I consider myself to be a purpose doula. And what is a doula? A doula is one that brings or, helps to usher or bring in the birth of something. And in my case, my purpose is helping you give birth to your purpose. I believe that we all have a seed of purpose within, and if we would just identify or discover it, believe that it's there, and then nurture it, water it, develop it, watch it grow, then we are able to live the life that we were intended to live, one of abundance and joy, but also live a life that is a blessing to others. And so I get so much life myself out of helping people find that seed of purpose. And today we're going to work on a piece of that today by talking about vision. So thank you again for being here, not just for me, although if you're here to support me, I appreciate it. But I'm also more excited about you supporting yourself and wanting to live the life of abundance that you've been promised. So let's talk about Purposeful Seed. I want to set the stage for those who might be new to my practice. Purposeful Seed is a coaching company that I started in 2017. And we are a group that supports people to discover who they are and then help you to align that with what it is that you do, the things that the actions, the service, the work that you do in the world. The Purposeful Seed mission is really to connect individuals with that seed of purpose that I mentioned. It's already within you. It's not my job to give you purpose in any way, but it's to create the conditions for you to find the purpose that's already within. And then by doing so and watering and nurturing that purposeful seed, we want to see you live. I want to see you live the life of joy and abundance that I believe that we're all promised. And so I get increasing joy when I have an opportunity or the privilege, I should say, to be able to do that. So, why are we here today? I want to jump right in because I'm so excited about this series. And I'm going to give you a little perspective on my personal story and why this is important to me. So, for me, 2022, we're just a little bit into the year, is for me the year of manifestation, bringing things to fruition, right? Based on seeds. I'm using this analogy really clearly. I love trees. I love the idea or concept of seeds, but bringing into manifestation or harvest seeds that have been planted over the years and are now ready to bloom into the harvest that they were intended to be. And so I'm so excited about this year because I planted some seeds, you all. Has anybody else planted some seeds? I planted some seeds, and in planting these seeds, I am completely convinced that this is the year that those seeds will actually turn into what they were intended to be. I also believe that energy flows where intention goes. So wherever you cast your intention, wherever you put with laser-like focus intention on, and that energy flows there, that's where you're going to get your impact and your results. And so I started thinking about, well, how can I get that level of impact in all of the areas of my life so that I receive the manifestation that I'm looking for? And that is where this workshop series kind of came from. The idea that if I'm starting to do this for myself, then it might be great to kind of share that with the world and have others to do it with me. So, what is Purposeful You in 2022? This workshop series I'm talking about. It is about casting our intentions purposefully on the areas of our life where we want to evolve, grow, and find joy. I find this young woman on the screen here to be just beautiful. And she's smiling. She just feels at peace and happy. I love her energy. That's how I want to feel all the time, but not just in the work that I do or the business that I have, but with my family, with my friends, my relationships, with my finances, with my health. All of those things, I want to be joyful in all of these areas of my life. And so, in order for that to be possible, I have to be purposeful about that. I have to think about what does it mean to be purposeful in all those areas? What does it look like in your life to be purposeful in every aspect of your life, in your faith, in your career, in your health, in your money, in your relationships, in your family? And there could be other areas. You are a whole person. And I like to call these these different areas or aspects, I like to call them domains. And why do I call them domains? Well, because domains can be defined as an area or a territory that is owned, right? Something that you own, or something that is a specified sphere of activity or knowledge. And I am of the mindset that if we want every aspect of our life to be something that we own, right? Because if we own it, then we can approach it with being empowered, right? But the way to own it is to specify that sphere or activity that you're working on and know and have the knowledge in that area and the knowledge in that domain and the vision in that area to make it into what you want it to be. And that's what we're going to be doing in Purposeful You in 2022. Yes, it rhymes and it's cute and catchy, but it really is about taking control and ownership over all the different pieces and aspects of our lives. So what are we going to do in this workshop? If you join me every month, this is what you're going to see. We're going to start at 6:30. We'll have some meditative music. You can get quiet when we get ready to enter it. probably won't do all of this lead up prior to, but once we get on, the plan is we're going to do a centering exercise to kind of be calm and be peaceful. We're going to point out the problem that we're addressing, right? Then we're going to discover what's our desire, what do we want? And then finally, we're going to offer a strategy for success. I'm going to give some ideas. You all are going to engage with me, and we're going to find some ideas and strategies for being able to live the life of joy and abundance that we want. So let's start with the centering exercise. I want to begin here. I want you to get comfortable in your chair, get cozy wherever you are. You can turn off your cameras if you have your cameras on. I'm actually going to pause mine for a minute. And what I want you to do is just listen. I want you to think positive thoughts and listen to this centering exercise and what it might mean to you in terms of creating a vision for yourself that will allow you to live the life that you want to live.
Positivity into my life every day. Please bring positivity into my life every day. Please bring only joy and peace and everything that is love. Please bring only joy and peace and everything that is love. Please bring positivity into my life, every day. Please bring positivity into my life, every day. Please bring positivity into my life, every day. Please bring only joy and peace and everything that is love. Please bring only joy and peace and everything into my life that is love every day. Please bring only joy and peace and everything to my life that is love every day. Please bring positivity into my life every day. Please bring positivity into my life every day.
All right. I hope that you enjoyed that. The first time I heard it, it just stuck with me. Bring positivity into my life. Bring joy. Bring peace. That is some of the things that I want in life. And if that resonated with you, I'll be sure to put that link along with the recording that will come out after this session. So I want you to think about that and channel that throughout this entire session for the remainder of what we're doing here today. All right. Now, what are we talking about today? Today's session is about having a purposeful vision for 2022. Now, as we get ready to move through this session, I want you to really consider this. I want you to not just have an idea of what, 2022 is going to be like. I want you to pause and give yourself permission to dream big. And I mean big. I mean dream in a way that almost makes you nervous. One of my favorite pastors that I listen to says, if your dream, if your vision doesn't make you a little nervous, doesn't make you a little scared, you're not dreaming big enough. You need to dream bigger. And so I want to give you an example of just my own ability to be able to think and dream bigger. It was at a moment in my life where I was working for an organization and I was loving the work. I'm still working with this organization now, but now in a different capacity as an entrepreneur. But before that happened, I was working and doing leadership development and loving the people I was working with and for. Had tremendous relationship, was making an incredible impact. And yet there was something that was shifting at that time. And that organization started moving in a direction. And it led me to believe that, you know what, the work that I'm doing right now is great. But as they need something different from me, it's something that I might not be able to offer, right? I was losing some of the pieces of the work that I was hoping to be able to continue to do. And they needed something different from me. And so in my near 40, I was turning 40 that year. And I said, you know what? I think it's time for me to graciously step down. I don't know what's coming next. But I'm certain, and I was certain of it. God has always sent me the next job. Just send it to me. I've usually not even had to interview for jobs. It's always come to me. So I realized at that time, it was time for me to step down. So I did. I stepped down not having a job. I stepped down not necessarily having a real plan, but just knowing the next thing is coming. In that period, I interviewed, I threw out my resume, I did more informational sessions with people that I knew in my network, and my network is deep, than I'd ever thought I would have to it. But I still went 8 months without work. 8 months. And you can imagine with a family of five how difficult that was for my husband and I to make it when, we were struggling during that period financially only because it wasn't a plan to be off for that long. I just thought I was going to find the next job and keep it moving. In that period, what I was doing is I was getting real quiet and I was thinking about purpose a lot. Why am I trying to find work? What is it going to give me? What kind of purpose is it going to give me? I don't want a job. I want a purposeful career choice, a purposeful career path. And so I went these 8 months really struggling, trying to find that purpose and find that path. But the one thing that I was doing during that time was I was meeting with people one-on-one. And I was doing what I thought were informational interviews. But by the end, in most cases, I was finding myself coaching the other person on the other side of the table. And eventually, one of those people who was a kind of, I would say, a mentee to me, for me at the time, she said, you know what, Erica, people are paying you for this kind of advice. And all of a sudden, the dream came true. It was like I could see a vision of me putting myself in position to be an entrepreneur, to have my own vision, to have my own ideas of what could be possible in the world and to manifest them. And that is where the seed of Purposeful Seed was planted. And in 2017, in May, I started Purposeful Seed. It made me nervous to think of not having a steady job or having that 2-week paycheck that was coming in, not having them good benefits. And I knew, though, that because I was nervous, it also meant there was something to it, that I was being pushed in a direction. And I'm going to tell you, I would have never looked back since. So in this moment, I want you to think and dream big. Think and dream bigger than you've ever dreamed before, because the vision is what's going to help you to live the life that you want. Now, here's a question that I want to ask of you. Beginning with this concept of vision, this seems like an easy question, but it's not always easy to answer this. And the question is, what do you want? What do you want? It seems so simple, like I know what I want, but do you? Usually, when I ask this of my clients or ask this of people I'm talking to who are trying to find their way, what they do is they start off with what they don't want. I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want to be in a situation like what I'm in right now. But the question is, what do you want? What do you want? Do you know? And if you don't, it's okay to not know, but you got to be honest that I might not know. I may not have paused long enough, paused for the cause to figure out what I want. So, what I want you to do right now is we're thinking about the vision. I want you to first reflect on what you want. What do you want? And usually, what you want is based on three things. This is something I've learned in coaching. It's based on what do I want to do? What do I want to have? What do I want to be? Now, what we want to do is around your actions. Like, what do I want to act on? What do I want the projects to be, the work, the service that I offer? What do I want to do with my time, my energy? The second piece is what do I want to have? Are there possessions that I want to have? Circumstances that I want to make possible? Are there results that I'm looking for? How about impact? The impact that I want to have. And then there's what do I want to be? And this is where I always start, right? What do I want to be? Who do I want to be? What are my values? What is my purpose? What is the attitude that I want to have, right? So you're going to, in this session, reflect on those three words. What do I want to do, have, and be? So we're going to do an exercise. And again, I'm going to go back to playing some music quietly. And in this next 5 minutes, you are going to write down what it is that you want to do, what do you want to be, and what do you want to have. Now, I'm going to make it time sensitive. I mean, in this next 300 and let's say 30 some days, because we're about 30 days into the year. What do I want to do, be, and have? I'm going to turn the music on. I'm going to allow you to write down what your heart's saying. Be honest with yourself. And here's what I want you to do. This is what I call catching the water. See, when your heart opens to what the possibilities are, there comes overflow. And the water that I'm talking about metaphorically are your thoughts. So I want you to take this moment to really pull out your pen and pencil, your journal if you have one, and I want you to write it out. What do I want to do? What do I want to be? What do I want to have? Write out your thoughts. Catch the water, right? You don't want to have a hole in your bucket where you're pouring in water and water's falling in the bucket, but it's coming out. So you got to catch the water. And if you're not a writer, and I encourage you to talk it out. It's what I call self-talk. Talk it into your phone. Create a self-recording that it invites you to hear what it is that your heart is saying if you don't want to write it. So let's take 5 minutes, write out what we do, what we want in terms of what we do, what we want to be, and what we want to have. right. I hope you all enjoy that time when it's quiet. I'm telling you. All right. So I hope you all enjoy that time when you have the opportunity to just get quiet. It's so important to take those moments. I call it pause for the cause, right? Sometimes it's in the pause that we can make a different choice, make a choice to move towards what we want as opposed to move away from it, by doing something negative or having negative thoughts. So take time to pause. I'm telling you, it will change your life to take time for the silence and to just hear your heart and your mind speak. So I want to remind you that it's so important for us to be able to see the vision. One of my heroes, Marian Wright Edelman, said, "You cannot be what you cannot see." There's another quote that says, "If you believe you can or you don't, either way, you're correct." Right? And I kind of think the same thing is true about vision. If you think you can see it, I can see in my mind what it is that I want. Or if I don't, or if I'm not able to see it, that is going to determine whether I can actually be that thing. If you can't see it, you can't be it, right? And so I really think that that idea of vision is so critical. And it is not lost on me that when you close your eyes and you actually ask your heart will actually speak back to you. The question is, are you listening? There's a verse in Proverbs. I love reading the Bible. I get such wisdom out of Proverbs, especially. And it says, "Where there is no vision, the people perish." Proverbs 29. And I love that because it reminds us that there are consequences to not having vision. People often think that vision only comes to certain people, right? To charismatic leaders who can stand in front of others and voice it. But the only difference between them and you is the fact that they may have shared the vision, right? But that doesn't mean that you don't have one. Of course, you can have one. Everyone has it, just like everyone has that seed of purpose inside of them. But there are consequences to not having a vision. This verse really leads us to understand that it can lead to death. And sometimes in a physical way, it can lead to death. Like if you don't have a vision for your health, then you will eat and you will not exercise and do all of the things that will ultimately lead maybe to your physical death. But even if it's not physical, it can lead to the death of your purpose. It can lead to the death or at least the stagnation of your growth. And some of you are wandering through life, right? Maybe aimlessly, with no vision, no idea of where you're going. You're doing a lot. I'm sure of that. You're doing a lot. Some of us are doing. But you might be Team DTM, which I like to refer to. And I've been on Team DTM, so I'm not talking from a place where I don't understand. Team DTM is team doing too much. You might be doing so much, but not necessarily with a sense of purpose. So, what we want to do is have a sense of vision, a sense of purpose about what we're doing, so that we can be doing with intention. Now, there's a survey that was done in October of 2021 by LinkedIn, and it found that 60% of Americans right now are feeling unfulfilled in their work. And you're probably saying, okay, unfulfillment, vision, how do these fit? Well, this is during the pandemic, right? So people are struggling and they're realizing that they're searching for answers. And the article that I read really talked about how the pandemic is driving people to really evaluate what's really important to them. It's not just where they work, but it's like, why do I work? Why am I, in this place? And I work with clients where that is really the question, like, what am I doing and how is this important? The survey also found that a third of workers are looking for a new role and looking for new passions, and that 30% of them are learning something new, are looking to learn something new. They're looking to grow, right? And that unfulfillment can be because you don't have the sense of purpose in it. Like, why am I not feeling this work? And that unfulfillment might be because of lack of vision. I'm not clear about what I want, so I can't pursue it. Now, is anybody a Disney fan? I love animation. My kids know it. I will go to a movie by myself and watch it. But if you haven't, if you are under a rock and you have not seen Encanto yet, I need you to go check it out. And this is why I'm bringing it up. There's a song called, it's not called Under the Surface. That's what people think. It's called Surface Pressure by a character called Louisa. And her superpower is physical strength. And you can see here that she's holding the big balance of like trying to hold everything up. And I want to read you the lyrics written by Lin-Manuel Miranda, who is a genius, I believe, because to me it describes so many of the people, especially my women friends in the world. I'm just going to read you the lyrics and tell you what they say. It says, "I'm the strong one. I'm not nervous. I'm as tough as the crust of the earth. I move mountains. I move churches and I glow because I know what my worth is. I don't ask how hard the work is. Got a rough, indestructible surface, diamonds and platinum. I find them, I flatten them. I take what I'm handed, I break what's demanded. But under the surface, I feel berserk as a tightrope walker in a three-ring circus. Under the surface, was Hercules ever like, yo, I don't want to fight Cerberus? Under the surface, I'm pretty sure I'm worthless if I can't be of service." You get what I'm saying? See, Louisa, as the character in this movie, she was doing so much. But she's not clear about like why she's doing it, and she's scared that it's all going to fall apart. So she's strong and she's doing, but under the surface, she feels like she's gonna crack. And some of you might be feeling like that. I felt like that. I'm doing so much. I'm moving, moving, moving. But how do I get to a place where I can do with purpose and know that because I have purpose, because I have vision, that it's not going to all fall apart, right? And I have the strength and the fortitude to maintain that vision and keep focused because of it. So again, we want to be with vision. We want to be clear about what we want. What are the actions we want to take? What are the goals and results based on what we want to have? And then what do we want to be? That is the goal. And so for just a second, I'm going to pause and give you one more story, and then I'm going to ask you to think about your vision as we get ready to close in just a few minutes. It was December 19th, 2019, when I got this note. It was a call that I took from my car talking to my husband, and it said, and the person on the other line who was a nurse said, "Mrs. Harris, I'm sorry to tell you that your test did come back positive for breast cancer." December 23rd, 2019, after getting that news, you're seeing pictures here on the screen of my face after I got the diagnosis that it was stage 3 breast cancer, that it had moved from my breast to my lymph nodes under my left arm. And they were doing tests to see whether it was stage 4 because there were some signs in my testing that suggested it could be. Here what you see is a person who in some ways was scared. I have 3 children, I have a husband, like I have a life. What am I going to do? When you hear those words, that's what you start thinking. And yet in that moment, I'm sitting, you can see the water in the background. I'm looking out on the water and I heard a voice, and that voice said, "Just trust me." I believe that that was the voice of the divine, the voice of God that said, "Just trust me." And I decided in that moment that I was going to make a choice to live. I was going to make a choice to make the vision that I've had in my life to be one of life, not of death. That this was going to be a chapter of my life, but not the end of the book. I made that determination while I sat there on December 23rd at the water. And these are the pictures that I took that day to remember that moment. And then a couple weeks later, I have a vision book group, and we got together in I think January something, and we created vision boards. We've been doing that for a year or two, and here's my vision board, and I decided I'm going to make sure that I'm visioning what it is that I want this year to be. And they knew I had breast cancer, and we talked about I'm going to live. I'm going to pray. You can see on here on the board it says, "I will inspire. I will live my best life. I will shine bright. I celebrate the abundance and the nature of life." Like, I'm going to live. That's what this board said to me. I'm going to live. I'm going to have joy, right? I'm going to be grateful and represent all the things that God had poured into me at that point. I was going to focus on His word and focus on family. And I took that same vision board and I put it right next to my bed. And I looked at it every single day to remind me of what the vision was. I made a choice to say that what I wanted was to beat cancer. What I wanted was to be inspiring. What I wanted was to have peace. And these pictures are representations of that. Every time I went to chemo, I lost all my hair. I was always cute because I wasn't going to look like what I've been through. I learned I love the shape of my head, so I wore my bald head out. I didn't always hide it with a head wrap. I didn't hide it with a wig. I just wore it out because I was going to be inspiring to someone else. That's my baby. That's my baby William. And I decided we were going to live, right? So we smiled when we took pictures. We weren't sad. And I wore my breast cancer blanket that someone bought for me as a superhero cape. And I had peace. And everything that I put on my vision board, folks, everything came to pass. And here I am now. My hair's a little bit longer, but I'm stronger and I'm better for what I went through. And it all came back to the vision that I set for myself when I sat on that water and when I created that vision board. So now it's your turn. What are you going to do with your vision? You looking out at the rest of the year, you have an opportunity to say what you want to do. So in a minute, I'm going to give you 10 minutes to think about what is your vision for 2022. You've already talked a little bit about what you want to do, what you want to be, what you want to have. And I'm going to send you even a planner so you can document that. You're going to get, when you get this recording, you're going to get a link to a workbook that allows you to put your answers in there. You can also take time to create a digital vision board. Come up with some pictures. Find the images that represent what you want this year. You can use Google Slides, Pinterest. I love Canva. If Canva is listening, I want to be a sponsor for Canva because I use it for everything, for every slideshow I do, every flyer, every social media post. For me, it's always in Canva. Or you can also use Padlet. Whatever you decide to use something that's going to give you the visual representation of the life that you want to lead. Create a vision board for yourself. What you see in front of you are the vision boards of some young people that I've worked with over the years. They did amazing stuff and they cut out their own pictures. One of them said, I want to be optimistic this year about what's possible. And they talked about the things that they wanted. And I think it's so important. So if this can be an inspiration and you have children or nieces and nephews or young people you mentor, do a vision board with them. Have a session with them. Have them put images to what it is, the life that they want to live, and talk about what that means for them. So let's take 10 minutes now to actually create some imagery of the vision board. I want you to take a pause for the cause, because if I let you off of here and you don't actually do it right now, you may never do it. So I want you to go in and get started, because if you start, you'll probably actually finish. So we're going to take 10 minutes. I'm going to give you some tips on the way back, and then we'll be done with our session for today. We'll be back in 10 minutes. Again, I'm going to play some music that gets quiet so that you can enjoy your time. All right, so that's our 10 minutes. And I just hope that was useful to you. Like sometimes just taking the pause, being quiet, listening to your heart, it's so important. And yet, because we're doing so much all the time, we don't often do it. So I hope that was useful to you. That you got a little bit of a head start on what you want your vision board to look like. And I want to see it. Please email it to me, Erica@purposefulseed.net. That's my email. I would love to see your vision board and the last thing you come up with. I will, certainly have conversations with people who create the vision and tell me what it's about. Like, I want to hear the story behind it too and how you think it's going to motivate you. But thank you for taking a pause, not for me, but for yourself to figure out what your vision is. So, last, I just want to give you some tips to turn the vision that you just started to create or that you've created if you'd already had one, tips to make them this vision reality. Because just because you see it doesn't mean it's automatically going to happen, right? This could just be a glorified art project if that's all we do is just put it up on the wall. But here's some tips. First of all, get clear on the what I want to do, what I want to be, what I want to have. Get real clear about that and then add to it. It doesn't have to be a one-time thing. Like in 2 weeks, you might think of something else. Add that. Be iterative. Secondly, create a visual representation. If you haven't, maybe it's not cutting out pictures or maybe it's something that you do from wallpaper on your phone. I remember I used to put my a picture of my vision board on my phone, and this is the thing that's with you all the time, so it can be that constant reminder. And if it's not all of the visuals that that typically represent a vision board, come up with a word. I mean, I came up with manifestation because I believe that this is the year for that. What is this year going to be like for you? Number three, put that vision in plain sight. That's what I mean. Like by your dresser, in the bathroom, on the mirror, on the refrigerator, wherever you're going to look regularly, put it there so you can see it daily. And it's that constant unconscious and conscious reminder. And then tell one person about it. Like, don't keep your vision to yourself. I'm like, okay, this is my vision, but I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm going to be stingy with it. And I don't have to be accountable if I don't tell anybody about it, right? Tell somebody about it and let them help you hold you accountable. And then check in on how you're doing relative to that vision at least once a month, if not every week. Like, did I do something that's moving me closer to making this vision possible? And then finally, I mentioned catch the water, journal the journey. Whether you do it on paper in an actual journal or you do it in your phone, do it somewhere where you catch the water, because it's going to be that journal that's going to really help you see the progress, be inspired, and keep it moving, and know that that vision becomes reality. And then check in with me if you need to along the way, because I would love to hear from you. So we're closing. Just as a reminder, I'm going to be doing these kinds of sessions every single month. I'm looking for ideas. Where are the places where you want to be purposeful and intentional, and you need some guidance, some facilitation on how to do that better? I'm going to leave those doors open. You can go register using the bit.ly here that is here on the screen. Pause the screen, type it out, go to that link to find out how you register for these workshops. 6:30 Central Time. Every fourth Thursday. I'm going to be here, and I hope you are here too. Or if you register, you will get the recording. So be sure that you do that. The next one is on February 24th at 6:30 p.m. Central, 7:30 Eastern, and I'm only going to keep you here for an hour. So even if you can only make it for a little bit, stop in. And if you just want to get the recording, make sure that you register. Finally, if anyone is out there, well, first of all, let me say thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for pouring into yourself for just a little bit. I honor you for that. I look forward to hearing from you, and I thank you for your time, which is the one gift that you can give someone. Once you give it, you cannot get it back. So thank you for giving me some of your time. And then finally, if anyone is looking for some guidance and facilitation as you're moving through your purposeful process this year, call me. Call me. Let's do a 15-minute consultation. Let's talk about what it is that your heart desires, and let's move in that direction. Let me support you in that. You have all the answers. Erica does not have your answer. But what I can do is create the conditions for you to find the answers that are within, and I would be honored to do that. God bless you. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. I don't care who you are. I love you, and I wish you all of the best as you look forward to manifesting all of the heart's desires that you have and making your vision become a reality and being the purposeful you in 2022 that you want to be. I'll see you next time.